Hey everybody, it's Ronda and Sara this week with another Kirkmont Women's Ministry video. Pat has the week off, so I asked Sara Van Woerkom to pop in and help us start our new series. And if you're not familiar, Sara runs our MOPS program here at Kirkmont. So I'm going to give you give us a 20-second plug for people who aren't familiar with MOPS.
All right, so MOPS is a Christian-based mom organization. We meet at Kirkmont twice a month in the evenings, and it's just a time to come together for fellowship, learning more about Jesus, getting advice from other moms on how to deal with all your kid issues. And we're meeting in person and virtual, so we have both options. And it's just been a great outlet, especially with this pandemic, to just get together with other believers and just relax away from your kids for 4 hours a month. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we offer pregnancy through kids in senior high school, and we also, Ronda is one of our mentor moms. We're always looking for more mentor moms, but mentor moms are awesome because they've been there, done that. They know it gets better. And so they're just there to help encourage us along the way.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And MOPS stands for Mothers of Preschoolers.
Oh, yes, it does. And then Moms Next is the school-age moms.
Kids. Yeah.
And we do have crafts as well, if you're crafty. And if you're not crafty like me, you can usually get somebody else to do it for you, which is what I do.
Or just pretend.
Or just hang out and chat. Bring your coffee, bring your dinner.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a good deal. So, yeah, if you're not plugged into something like that and that interests you, get in touch with Hannah in the office or look at the website.
Yep, there's on the Kirkmont website, MOPS has a section, okay. Or you can email kirkmontmops@gmail.com.
Perfect. So we are doing a new series, a little something different. For the next few weeks, we're going to do a book. This is by Jen Oshman. It's called Enough About Me. So I'm sorry, you're not going to have a video to watch and just do it that way. You're going to have to read the book. But the tagline or the subtitle on this book is called Find Lasting Joy in the Age of Self. And this is a message that has, I guess, just really resonated with me for a number of years. I have felt this, thought these things, and then somebody wrote a book about it, so I didn't have to. So I've really enjoyed it. So we're going to do this book a chapter a week. That's what we're looking at. So we'll give you this week to order your book, get it on Amazon or try the local bookstore. The library may even have it because it's been out for a little bit. But to give you an idea of what the book is about, I'm going to read you kind of her opening paragraph, and then we'll see what you think. She says, I sat exhausted on my dorm room floor, my eyes hot, my head throbbing, my teardrops were dry, and my mind was limping along, wondering how I ended up like this. The sadness enveloping me was foreign. I had always been happy and successful. Usually things went well for me. And now I couldn't even identify what was pushing the battering ram into my middle. So she starts up with, I'm 18, I'm in college, I'm having this, my life's dream, and I'm sitting on the floor crying. So when we talked about this, have you sat on your dorm room floor crying?
Yes, I have. I read this opening line and I said, that was me.
Yeah.
2004. And I was, the quintessential good student. I had gotten good grades my whole life. I followed the rules. I didn't drink, none of that. And here I am. I vividly remember Morris Hall, 3rd floor, sitting in the hallway because I couldn't call in my room because, roommate issues.
Okay.
And I am crying to my parent, literally crying hysterically to my parents on the phone because I'm failing. Like I had gotten my first F. And it was a class I needed for my major.
Okay.
And nothing was going the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
And I don't like to ask for help. I like to do it all by myself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, and I remember this was the first time I had ever dropped the F-bomb, and it was to my parents on the phone. And I was like, that's when you've hit a new low.
Rock bottom.
And even then, I still didn't want help. I still wanted to do it by myself. I wanted to come up with the solution by myself.
Yeah. And that's what she talks about. The big premise of this book is that we have been sold the idea of self, right? Tell me if you've heard these messages lately, right? Create your own destiny. You be you. Reach for the stars. You can be a self-made woman. You're in charge of your own happiness. You get what you give. Never let them see you sweat. Make it happen. You're enough. I mean, we are we are sold these lines, particularly since I think the 70s and the women's liberation movement. You know, we have been told you can have it all, but then you're left to construct it all and keep it all going, and we're not enough, are we?
No, and it's funny because we talked about this in Bible study last week, and I get home, and this is my first ever subscription to makeup in the mail, and I was all excited. I get my box home, and here it is. It says, "Your Magic," right on the front. And I was like, this is just perfect timing given what we had talked about, because if I was truly magic, my life would be perfect, and I wouldn't need Jesus. But you know what?
You might not need makeup.
And I might not need makeup. But I am not magic, and I do need Jesus.
Yeah. And I think you see this in statistics. You know, it's not just women in the church. I think it's the culture at large. They have statistics in here like, you know, 1 in 5 women in America are on antidepressants, right? The suicide rate among women in the last 2 decades has gone up by like 50%. And in girls 10 to 14, that age group, it has tripled. Yeah. You know, something is wrong with the message that we're being sent, and it's not living out the way, you know, the way we thought it would, right? So she talks about women who are tired and cynical, disappointed, disillusioned, like all these things. So if that resonates with you, if that hits in the back of your mind, I mean, read this book, because basically what she's going to tell us is that we are not enough. We were made by our Creator, and we need to look to His version of things, right?
Yes.
What has He said we were made to do? How do we live that way? And how does He offer us hope and peace, right? That's the only way we're going to find satisfaction, because we try a million other things, right? Magic, makeup. You know, we think when we're in high school that, well, when we get to college, it'll be so cool.
Right. It's always the next thing is going to be better.
Yeah, and we get to college and we think, well, when I get my career, you know, and then you
get married, and have kids, and be the stay-at-home mom that I wanted to be.
Right.
And why am I not happy?
And then what happens, right? I wasn't particularly happy as a stay-at-home mom in the beginning. Were you?
I felt like something was missing.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to figure out that something was Jesus. And even after I figured it out, God's timing is not my timing, and I'm a little bit of an impatient person. So I'm ready. She knows. Like, I'm ready for it now, and I'm just now seeing, this is my 3rd year in our women's Bible study on Thursday mornings, and I'm just now kind of starting to see the payoff of the study and how it's truly reflecting in my life. There's a line in this intro. It says, "Although I believed in God, I didn't know His word." And I would say that's very much true for my life. I've grown up in the church. It's always been a part of me. But just until the last couple years, it really hasn't felt like it's there.
Yeah.
So, and I still try to do things by myself, don't get me wrong. But
yeah, we all do.
I'm starting to feel a little bit more of that peace.
Yeah.
And I think this book just hits it right on the head.
I think that particularly as a new mom, she offers that illustration. You think, oh, well, I want to have a big family, and then you have a big family, and then you're angry and frustrated because you have 5 toddlers running around, and your house is a wreck, and your husband's not helping, and you know, that life. Or you have the career, and you think, this will be it. This, I will feel fulfilled, but it feels kind of hollow
not quite enough.
and empty.
Yeah.
And I think we are setting ourselves up for disappointment and disillusionment when we basically make idols of those other things, the things that we think will complete us. I know, like Sarah, I grew up in the church. You know, I was even maybe steeped in the Word. Some, you know, if it's a sliding scale, maybe I was. I knew the Word, but I don't think I was actually living it that way.
Right.
And I was still in the Air Force when I had my first child, and then like I went kind of from this booming career, everybody loves you, you're doing great, you're gonna be a colonel someday, to like I'm home with this screaming baby that I can't console, and I don't know what to do, and I'm having to call my husband and just say, come home, like I can't take it. And I realized that I had put way too much of my identity, way too much of my worth in my career, and God was like, oh, here, let me take that.
Yes.
And let's go through a little object lesson on, you know, what really matters and how we find fulfillment, right? Because we're really only going to find it in God. So that's kind of the gist of the book, being rooted and grounded in Christ, who God says you are, and how to make the most of that life, because everything else is probably going to leave you crying on your floor. Yes. Or hiding in the closet from your children,
or the bathroom, or the pantry.
Yes, all of those things. So I hope that you will grab this book this week. It's a short read. It really is. I promise. Look, big print. It's not bad.
No.
You can read a chapter a week with us and then come back and we'll talk through that chapter. And then there's even study questions at the end of the chapter.
And they're not that bad, I promise.
They're not that bad. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.